That works? Okay. So, hello. Perfect. Hello and welcome to everyone. My name is Margarita Krisaki, and today I will moderate the second webinar on education and training in the space sector. The main objective of this info session is to present you education training opportunities in the space sector and identify areas of cooperation between universities and other key educational stakeholders. Today we will have a very rich panel. But before I invite our esteemed speakers to the floor, I would briefly like to present you what is Nereus about and why education training is valuable for our regions. So allow me to share very shortly the presentation. Francesco, can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, we can, I think now it should be okay. So Nereus is a space organization which explores the benefit of space technologies for European regions and their citizens and promotes the use of space and its applications. We address this mission through our three main pillars of activities, as you can see: advocacy, political dialogue, highlighting the regional dimension into the context of EU development policies, interregional collaboration and partnership, which means that we stimulate cooperation between and within regions through projects.
Sorry,
and other
Margarita, we
Yes?
can see the second slides. I don't know if it's only me, but
The which slide?
the second one.
Nereus pillars of action, no?
No, practical instructions for the teleconference. I
Now?
don't know if it's only me, but
okay, I stopped sharing. Can you please share my presentation instead, Francesco?
yes.
And then I can tell you next slide because it's a problem. Okay, please go to the next slide to our main three pillars. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, here. So our third main pillar is technological trends and public outreach, where we address technological developments to meet regional users' needs through workshops, events, and so on. Next slide. We are a network of 23 European regions and 33 associate members, including universities and research center. Next slide, please. So as you can see here, it's a very rich slide. Education training is a key to our network, and it is reflected to our community. We have around 13 universities and research centers within our network, but also in our member regions all over Europe, as well as outside our member regions. And we can share the slides then, and you can read exactly which are these universities. In addition, we develop partnerships and memorandum of understanding with key educational stakeholders and associations. An example that we can quote here is Euravia, the European Association of Aerospace Students. Next slide, please. Regions are the key users and procurers of space-based applications, as we said before, and through the transfer from the satellite imagery to useful information, public authorities and other regional stakeholders are able to address their needs and maximize the impact in the society and contribute also to the growth at the local and regional level. But next slide, please. For this, they will need a well-equipped workforce to train people and support the process with the right skills to bring those elements across these regions. Next slide, please. For this reason, and given our big education training community, Nereus is involved in different activities. Here you can see the first example. We are partners to the biggest EU training education project, EO4Geo. The main objective was to bridge the skills gap between education and market needs. There, we were responsible for the regional rollout of the project to bring benefits of the project at regional and local level. Next slide, please. And ensure the visibility of the initiative. It is important to understand here that the regions needs to be updated and participate in the development of an appropriate educational framework. And this is what EO4Geo solution provided to our regional partners. More information about EO4Geo you will hear later on from the coordinator, Milva Carbonaro. Next slide, please. Universe is another Erasmus Plus education training project. Is an alliance of 5 universities, and they develop a new way of collaboration in the field of space within the new European Universities Initiative promoted by the Commission. The project is led by the University of Toulouse, which is located in the Nereus founding region Occitanie. And as Nereus, we are member of the advisory board, and part of our tasks is to connect Universe with other Erasmus Plus projects. And today we have our speaker, Mathilde, that will share more information about this. Next slide, please. Another way to showcase our support and involvement to capacity building skills is the organization of relevant outreach activities. We have organized one exhibition in the past, Space Girls, Space Women, which had the objective to raise awareness on education training in the space sector, including the younger generations. Next slide, please. And we're also sponsoring now our new initiative, exhibition Space for Our Planet, which showcased 25 portraits of interviewees, including young entrepreneurs from different domains. And they share their stories on how space technologies contribute to the sustainable transition according to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Next slide, please. In conclusion, as highlighted in our previous webinar, capacity building skills, education training is crucial for us, and therefore we organize such info sessions. We need a generation to be aware of the importance of space and to be more creative and reactive through the use of space technologies to improve the world we live in for Earth solution problems. And for this, universities play a tremendous role in the development of such workforce. Therefore, today we are very glad to have our 2 university members, the University of Cyprus and the Politecnico di Milano, and they will share with us their expertise and experience for their activities and the use of space. An important thing, this is an interactive webinar, so please feel free to share your questions on the chat, and we will ask the speakers for your questions. Okay, now I would like to invite first Professor Diophantos Hatzimitsis from the Cyprus University of Technology. And we can stop sharing my presentation. Professor Hatzimitsis, we would be very happy to listen to the wealth of activities of this university. Actually, whenever I read something, the Cyprus University of Technology is always there. So we are very happy to have you here, and the stage is yours.
Thank you, Margarita. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Margarita, and to Nereus for the kind invitation for present our activities. And I'm very proud that I am today one of the speakers with Rafaela. Good morning from Cyprus, Rafaela. Good morning to all. Just very quickly, We are based in Limassol in Cyprus, which is the second largest city in Cyprus. As a university, Cyprus University of Technology, we are one of the 3 public universities in Cyprus, which has been established by law in 2004, and we started our first undergraduate students on 2007 and 8. Our university consists 6 faculties, 13 departments, 1 language center, and we are offering 15 undergraduate courses, 15 postgraduate, and 15 doctoral. In less than 14 years of our operation, we are proud that our university has been listed in several ranking lists like Time Higher Education, QS, and Sakai. I would like to highlight that our department is based in the Faculty of Engineering and Technology. We are based in Limassol, and this faculty consists 3 departments: the Department of Civil Engineering and Geomatics, the Department of Electrical Engineering and Computer Engineering and Informatics, and the Department of Mechanical Engineering and Material Science. Our remote sensing and environment lab has been established through the Department of Civil Engineering and Geomatics. At this department, we are offering 2 undergraduate courses. The first is civil engineering. The second is surveying engineering and geoinformatics engineering. We have a lot of modules in Earth observation and GIS. And we are offering 2 master degrees, MSc in geoinformatics and Earth observation, and MSc in civil engineering and sustainable design. It's nearly 1 year full-time master degrees. And we are very proud that we have a PhD in civil engineering and geomatics with 3 core disciplines like Earth observation, GIS, geodesy, and some other related geomatics disciplines like photogrammetry. I would like to highlight that last June, we have accreditation from 3 international experts of our program, and our MSc in geoinformatics and Earth observation that has already been revised with some highlights of the Excelsior project will start by next year of starting this revised program. The main highlight of this new master, we put some new ideas from the Excelsior funded project, and we want to be one of the key pioneer university offering this master, especially in Cyprus and the MENA region. Our MSc in geoinformatics and Earth observation consists the following topics, especially the MSc thesis will be co-supervised with our Excelsior partners. And I'm not going to mention the subject, but we have special topics on Earth observation and data analytics. We have also the PhD in civil engineering and geomatics that consists Earth observation research topics. And we have a new post consists 14 different positions that will be sponsored from our Excelsior projects. The deadline is 25th of November. Our lab has been started, as I mentioned, 15 years ago. We have 15 years of operation. We run 150 research-funded projects, and we secure funding from National European Fund and local industry. About our team, as I mentioned before, we started 15 years ago, and we submitted the Excelsior-funded project in 2016. As a phase 1 has been ranked in Europe first, and we're proud that we got the Excelsior second stage proposal that has been granted in 2019. Here are the details of the Big Horizon project, 38 million euros, that has been used to upgrade our existing remote sensing lab to an Adaptation Center of Excellence. Our vision for our new center is to become a world-class digital innovation hub for the Earth observation and geospatial information, and to be the reference center in the MENA region. Here is the Excelsior Consortium partners. We have Department of Electronic Communication from our government. We have NOAA from Greece. We have DLR and Tropos from Germany, and 2 affiliated partners, SIRIC and PMOD from Switzerland. We had the public inauguration of this big project, Excelsior project, in our premises, was 3 years ago, under the auspices of the President of Cyprus. And we set up a board of directors for this new center. We set up an external advisory board with some high reputational names like Vista Ambrosia from NASA, Marcello Maranesi from Italy, Lena Hanunavo from ISPRS, Peter Zay from Austria, Bianca Horst from ISA, and Daniel Baroque from Israel. Why we choose this consortium? Through this Excelsior project, we have professional training, capacity building, and if you want to join us, it's just send us one simple email to sign an MOU to be one of the key stakeholders of this project, and we are willing to do it. We choose DLR to help us to establish the satellite receiving station in Cyprus, NOAA to provide the links to be the regional Copernicus node in Cyprus, and Tropos to establish a ground-based atmospheric remote sensing station. Why Excelsior? We are motivated from the fact that the European Commission will invest 16 billion in space building upon Galileo and Copernicus, and we feel the responsibility that we are on the only remote sensing laboratory center in Cyprus. During the preparation of this big project, we identify some needs and opportunities. Why this center in Cyprus? We want to contribute to restoration programs in the MENA region, disaster risk reduction, drought and water shortage, and we found that there is a big need for contributing to the aerosol cloud monitoring in the region. Opportunity, collaboration, funding instruments, big data analytics. This new center, with the sole member of our university, consists of the department, environment and climate, resilient society, big data analytics. We have 12 research topics: atmosphere, agriculture, water, land, disaster risk reduction, cultural heritage, marine safety and security, energy, and under the big data analytics, crowdsourcing, geoinformatics, visual exploration, and information extraction. The digital information hub consists of the y-axis and the x-axis. As you can see, we have 4 cluster areas like entrepreneurship, education, research, and infrastructure. And based on the business plan that we prepare for the new center, we identify 5 key areas that we want to be on research excellence in the next 7 years: access to energy, disaster risk reduction, water resources management, climate change monitoring, and big data analytics. We want to invest in people. At our plans, we want to employ more than 112 people in the next 7 years. And we prepare and design now the living labs for the Excelsior project, smart water resources management, atmospheric monitoring. And we are proud to mention that based on our records, we collaborate with more than 600 members from Europe and over the world. Through this big Excelsior project funding scheme, we are proud that we have with us 100 organizations that support this initiative. We signed a lot of MOUs, and up to now, for the last 3 years, we collaborate with more than 200 partners in Europe and outside Europe. Very quickly, our activities: atmosphere, agriculture, like precision agriculture, carbon footprint, water resources, water quality, water leak detection, disaster risk reduction, forest fire, bird area, soil erosion, floods, landslides, earthquakes, early warning systems, cultural heritage, protection, loot detection, detection of archaeological crops, marine safety and security. And very quick, last slides, some recent funded schemes that we run in our center: cross-border cooperation for implementation of maritime spatial planning for Cyprus and Greece. New funded scheme from Horizon Europe is called AI Observer, Artificial Intelligence for Earth Observation. Framework partnership agreement on Copernicus user uptake work program, visiting different schools, science cafe, researchers night. Coastal erosion through a new research Interreg funded project for Cyprus and Greece. Agricultural monitoring tab in Cyprus through ESA funded project. A new ESA funded project from PEX in Cyprus for desertification risks and pressure mapping. Managing Natura network in Cyprus and shaping a sustainable future. And future perspectives, we want to still on investment in people, state-of-the-art equipment. We are going to build a new building, 2,000 square meters in the next few years. Skill development, achievement, engagement, like networking hub, liaison office, and regional exploitation platform. And the two infrastructures that are the key highlights is the acquisition of a satellite receiving station. We are going to publish the European tender by next week. That will be based in Cyprus, and we completed the tender for around 1.8 million euros ground-based atmospheric remote sensing for Cyprus. We want to collaborate with more partners, and this is the last slide from me. We want stakeholders and partners, associations, board management authorities, policymakers, first and second responders, and partners from different areas, multidisciplinary, like agriculture, marine science, climate change, disaster risk reduction, digital twins, education, transport. And because we're preparing some proposals with our team, we want to collaborate with Horizon Europe, Interreg Med, Research Promotion Foundation, Course Primat, Erasmus, Plus, Life, ECHO, Tenders, and SAPEX. Thank you very much for your attention. And as you can see, we publish frequently a lot of vacancies. Join our social media. And I would like to mention, as Margarita mentioned in the start, that 2 weeks ago, we nominate as the top on the second generation teaming projects for dissemination and communication. Thank you very much for your attention.
We thank you, Diophantos. We are impressed of the activities of the university, and the question is what you don't do actually, because you are everywhere. I have 2 questions for you, but I will come back during the debate. Thank you so much for this great presentation. Very quickly, I give the stage to Raffaella Brumana, the full professor of geomatics in Politecnico di Milano. Nereus has a long story with Politecnico di Milano, a long story of cooperation through our flagship project, also Copernicus for Regions. Raffaella, we are looking forward to listening to your presentation and your activities. And we can see the presentation now.
Can you see now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, very good. I try to minimize the, I don't know how, okay, maybe, okay, I don't know.
But as it is, it looks perfect from my side.
Okay, fair, very good. So thank you for the organization of this webinar. It is very useful also from Polyme side. And thanks to all your efforts you do to improve this Nereus network. Just to say that we are very proud to be associated members of Lombardy regions within the Nereus Association. We did a lot of work all together with you, and I think that it stimulated, since when we started 10 years ago, a lot of work we are trying to boost within our university. So I think that it has been a cross mutual fertilization among us. So what I would like to underline is that our main contributor within the educational training is within the multi-source, multi-scale built environment analysis monitoring under hazard and threats that we have in our European areas. Just one word about the activity of our GICARUS lab. GICARUS lab is a digital lab with expertise on data acquisition, data management and processing, with a focus on built environment and cultural heritage. Built environment in the complexity of natural and built heritage and built environment itself. one very important thing is that when dealing with training, it is very important to teach not just the complexity, but also the complexity of merging different data sets. For this matter of fact, we in all our courses, we introduced a workshop in order to give the elementary element of processing data, satellite data, in order to give the student the opportunity to have a global idea of the phenomena and then to validate and to integrate them with ground data acquisition that they have the opportunity to experiment on site with our instrument. Our field of interest span from the urban energy dispersion map, heritage and climate change threats like sea rising, flooding, riverbed side threats, and land degradation issues, land and landscape degradation. This is just a small summary of our networks and platform we cooperate with, beside the Nereus that you have already introduced. We have been the first I signed the first commitment on the Copernicus Academy as Polimi. Now I gave the floor to Marco Gianinetto. In case we still working all together in our ABC department. And we also participate to the GEO Global Earth Observation statement in order to introduce a PhD course on Earth observation and ground data for the built environment, but it is the main issue of our department. Just to tell you that our department is a department of mixed expertise, engineer and architects, engineer on different fields, structural engineers, environmental engineers, physicians, and so on. And so it is very important the work that we are doing on introducing the rule of satellite data in different field of observation. And at a glance, some funded project within the European program or a regional Interreg program. And I think that the common line of all of these funded projects is the capability to develop processing methodologies in order to obtain digital twins models of complex scenarios at the different scale. First of all, redistributing the geospatial information and processing them. We also implement application in order to let also user and our student to access this data and the result and the processing of this data. Nevertheless, we are also partner of the partnered research training initiative, New Paradigm, New Tools, with the Canadian government in Ottawa, where we develop with them new paradigm, new tools, potentials, using the tools spanning from the HBIM, Building Information Model, and merging them with the information models coming from the land and landscape dimension. Obviously, in our department, we have many courses dealing with built environment, and mainly we act at two levels in the use of Earth observation, that's to say at the PhD level and at the Master of Science architectural level, and I will speak in 2 minutes about this challenge. Obviously, the main monitoring issue we face within these two levels are the land degradation, flooding, sea rising, in order and to detect and understand the complex phenomena coming from the climate change pressures at the different scale, including also perhaps the altimetric movement and structural health monitoring of fragile site with remote sensors. And for this matter of fact, we also implemented XR platform to manage remotely sensing data acquisition. This is the work we did within the GeoItaly statement in San Pietroburgo 8 years ago, and we promote a course of building capacity within our PhD course. Now we have a PhD course totally addressed to the multi-temporal, multi-source remote sensing monitoring. And I will also introduce the fact that we are also now obtaining grant on Earth observation, and Marzia Gabriele is the first PhD candidate that is using a grant on Earth observation, and under my point of view it is very successful case. Very briefly, what we do within our PhD course, perhaps this is a case where our students have the opportunity to work in the site of this riverbed cultural heritage archaeological site that is underwater when under the flash bombs and raining, and they have the opportunity to use Earth observation satellite data, the digital globe, Copernicus, and they make a lot of map integration, as you can see here. And as for the sea rising, we have some links also with NGO based in Canada, in Halifax, where they are providing application, as in our case, in order to stimulate to raise awareness about among people on the sea rising and the problem on the land, and on the land degradation and problem of salinity and so on. So our students can see also other sample, not just ours. Here we can see the result of an European project we made on the redistribution of open data applied to the riverbed threats. And in this case, as you can see here, the students use the Sentinel data in order to detect and monitor the effect of different phenomena. And one important thing shifting to the Master of Science level is that it is since 2018 we started working within the our courses in the architectural, urban and construction engineering school, that it is ranked the 7th world position. We have a lot of students. Just to give you an idea, each course has an average of 7 to 10 course courses, sections, I mean, with 50 students each. So we have about, we have a mean of 500 students that are running our courses, so very heavy master. And within this master, we started introducing a workshop on Earth observation and landscape degradation using Copernicus data in one of the section in experimental way. And we started coordinating some graduation thesis. The first architect that has been graduated on this topic is Marzia Gabriele, as we told you, and then now she is in the PhD. This is the land degradation analysis that we are implementing with our ongoing tool implementation in order to detect the region land degradation. Just to tell you that for the Basilicata we detected an index of degradation enriched by isolation parameters, social and economic parameters that
Rafaela, sorry to interrupt you because you are over the time.
Yes.
Just with
Okay,
2
I
lines,
finished.
two
Yeah,
lines,
yes, I
so we
finished.
can. Yes.
Yes, tell me.
No, just 2 lines from your side so we can close the presentation and go into the discussion.
Okay.
Although
Yes,
it's so
yes,
interesting,
yes.
but it's
No, okay. Sorry for that. This is just the experience that we are running with our student on the Altoplano camp in order to detect with the Earth observation and Copernicus Sentinel the bushes buffer that they are planting in order to reverse the land degradation. And so we are monitoring with satellite data this land under the regenerative agriculture. And I think that it is important that architects are starting using these technologies. We are interested to have to go on with cooperation with you and your members, and we are very interested to the next digital call on the skill training developing partnership and on other digital call on data space implementation. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Rafaela, for your presentation and the impressive list, actually, of master degrees, courses, and so on. I have 2 questions for you and for Professor Diofantos. And of course, we are looking forward for the questions from the audience. Professor Diofantos, in your presentation, you really showcased the wealth of activities from the university. And considering also the next presentations of the 2 education training consortium, Universi and Neo4Geo, I was wondering if you what is your opinion? Are your programs and activities offering to the students a good matchmaking, considering the market needs? How do you develop actually your master programs and the courses? Is it based on what the market asks, or the other way around? We cannot hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Now, yes.
Okay, this is a nice question, and I'm going to answer with my previous hat. I used to be the Vice Rector for Academic Affairs for the whole university from 5 years ago, and I had the responsibility to manage all the new MSc degrees to be submitted to the local agency, quality agency, that used to be the vice president now of DIPAE, is a local agency for accreditation. Before the submission of any MSc course, there is an internal process within the university. There is a quality assurance team in the department, and you have to submit a sustainability study you have to collaborate, meet with the key stakeholders from the industry first, identify the needs of the market, and then to appoint and meet with the key stakeholders from the government. The main aim of this master degree is to identify the main needs of the market. We saw, because we ran for 5 years MSc course in geospatial technologies, and we revised this MSc degree with Earth observation discipline, we show now some more SME companies that have been established in Cyprus, based also on the different conflicts in the region and the nearby region. We saw a boosting of SME companies Cyprus for space technology. That is the reason we revised the program and we included a lot of special topics in Earth observation and space technology. I fully agree with you, and most of the students, they have the opportunity also on the MSc thesis to collaborate and invite people from the industry to be on the course supervision team. This is an extra highlight of the master. And what we are doing, we revise the whole curriculum to include also some practical assignments and coursework with the Excelsior partners. And during the capacity building of the by next year and the forthcoming years, because this project is going for the next 15 years, 7 years with the funding of the European Commission, imagine how many capacity building and trainings we'll have for the next 7 years with the European funding. And we did it also, okay, it was online due to COVID, but we saw a lot of participation for the postgraduate studies students, and we try to incorporate soft skills, communication skills, practical problems using Earth observation, to real
interdisciplinary skills,
local problems and local and the European problems. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Hadjimitsis, for your insightful views on that. And I will come back to Rafaela now. Rafaela, we heard in your presentation a lot of many success stories from your students, winning grants and so on. What do you think is the reason for this? Is it are the raising awareness activities of your university? Did you engage in any raising activities in the past, and for this reason you see this high interest of students today in Earth observation? What is the key of the success?
Well, thank you for this question. First of all, I would tell you that our university is a university where we have engineer courses and architectural courses. Within the architectural school, we decided 10 years ago, under our dean, that was a woman, to integrate within the architectural studies also the engineering tools, engineering competencies, starting from the digitization, starting from the structural and monitoring and so on. So I think that, just to be honest, that the winning point is that we are merging in our courses both technologies and policies. But the bet with the architectural, within the architectural studies that I wanted to start has had a lot of difficulties, because when speaking about satellite data Earth observation, everybody says, okay, it is not something within the career of an architect. Instead, I think the opposite, because I think that nowadays an architect cannot act in the local level if he is not aware about the global phenomena, and he's not aware on and autonomous on using these disciplines. So we started introducing within the architectural study preservation courses workshop demonstrating to the student that they can use NDVI, ERDAS, QGIS, where to detect, obviously in a very simple way, land degradation effect, or to control the effect of flooding and so on. So the key is to keep them touching the data and touching what they can do with this data. And obviously this stimulated us to implement some code in order to better support the replying of this analysis.
Thank you for this valuable feedback, Rafaela. And I also see that the Diofatos agrees with you. Just to tell to the audience that Polimi and the University of Cyprus collaborated in the past and at the moment in other projects. So you know each other. The question is if you know the next two representatives of the EU training initiatives, Milva Carbonaro from EO4Geo and Mathilde Marcel from Universay. I will give first the stage to Mathilde from Universay to explain to us more about this educational space consortium and what are the opportunities for the universities in general and the ones that are present here with us in the discussion. The stage
Thank you
is
very
yours.
much. Thank you very much, Margarita. I will try again to share my screen so you can see my presentation.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, great. Oh. Oh, yes. Now it's good.
Now it's okay.
So yeah, I'm in charge of the stakeholder network of the Universay initiative that I'm going to present briefly in a minute. First, I just quick thank you for organizing the webinars and all the series of the webinars. So Universay is the European University for Earth and Humanity. It's an alliance of 5 universities from 5 European countries. As you said, it was established in November 2020, so it's quite new. And it was to develop a new way of collaboration in the field of space within the European initiatives, the European University Initiative, promoted by the European Commission. And we also have a Beyond Universay project, which is a SWAFS project, so Science with and for Society initiative, involving the same 5 partners to create a common research strategy for the European University. So our members are the University of Toulouse, where I'm based, and it's 5 institutions that are also part of the consortium. So we have 1 business school, 2 engineering schools, and 2 universities. We'll also have the University of Luxembourg as a partner, the Heinrich Heine University of Düsseldorf, the Luleå University of Sweden, and AGH University of Poland in Krakow in Poland. The university is built on a very ambitious mission statement, which is to be the first European comprehensive university on space. So in that purpose and aligned with the European education area, we developed a vision for education whose main lines are to develop knowledge-creating teams of students, learners, academics, researchers, and stakeholders that all together they can create innovative multidisciplinary courses that are directly linked to the needs of the sector and the European job market. So this is our purpose. And this aims to, of course, break the barriers between academics and other sectors in order to strengthen the European Union. I'm going to be brief on technical details, but I think it's quite important to maybe explain to the audience and how we can be a comprehensive university on the space sector, because, well, as you all know here, it's a very wide, and we try to really attract all the scopes of the space sector. So we have 6 disciplines that are covered in our alliance that you can see on the screen. And so with science and engineering, economy, business and finance, medicine and health, human and social sciences, art and cultural studies, and innovation and entrepreneurship. So with all these 6 disciplines, we try to cover... Oh, sorry, I stopped the presentation mode, but now it should be good. Yeah. So with all the 6 disciplines I mentioned, we try to cover the focus areas that you can see on the screen now. So we call that the onion, basically, but it's we created a matrix with the disciplines and the space sector segments that you can see here. So we try the aim, the objective, the expected outcome of Universe is to have at least one course in that can cover all the disciplines and all these space-focused areas. So maybe it's a bit, it's not very clear, so don't feel free to write on the chat some questions and I can clarify it. So this is our expected outcome, and I would like also to mention our main achievements so far. The project has started in November 2020. As I said, it's pretty early, but since then, we managed to create 16 courses and map existential courses that could fit in our universal criteria. We created also common platforms to ease the mobility in the Alliance and facilitate hybrid learning. We completed short programs and student conferences. We also created a universal community. So this is also one of our main objectives. Today we have very engaged students, and we are very thankful for our network of students. And also we have a network of 74 stakeholders, which Nereus is a part of, as in the advisory board, as you said. So we are very thankful for that. So all Nereus members are very welcome to also join our initiative and help us build the University of the Future in space. And I mentioned this slide on the future challenges, but now we are really focused on the renewal of our Erasmus Plus funding and consequently building the next phase of Universe with the list of objectives that you can see. Thank you very much. I'm ready to answer questions. And also I will maybe post on the discussion the website of Universe and my contact, because I noticed it wasn't on the presentation.
No problem. Thank you very much, Mathilde, for your great presentation. I will come back to you for the discussion. Now I would like to give the stage to Milva Carbonaro, the coordinator of the biggest EU training initiative. I will continue saying that, EU4Geo, because it's the truth. So the project ended in summer, but it continues now as an alliance. Milva, you better explain how universities and other stakeholders can benefit from this alliance and what are the goals.
Yes, I hope you can see well my screen. Many thanks,
Yes,
Margarita, for the invitation to this interesting webinar. Really, I enjoyed the presentation from previous colleagues, and also some ideas for collaboration popped up in my mind in the meantime. So to be short, I would now briefly present what are the main objectives of the EU4Geo Alliance, which are the activities which are foreseen in the medium and long term. And as Margarita was mentioning, the EU4Geo Alliance is the initiative which is born after the work of the EU4Geo projects, which has been the blueprint projects funded under Erasmus Plus to develop a sector skills strategy for skills development in the space geoinformation sector. This is at a glance in this slide. You can see which is the portfolio of products and services which have been developed within EU4Geo. They are not all at the same level of maturity, of course, and very mature is the body of knowledge and the different tools which are based on this common vocabulary that we developed within EU4Geo. And of course, we have developed an educational offer and also tested the approach through dedicated training actions. And you can see, have access to all these resources and products through the EU4Geo website, website that will be shown at the end of the presentation. As you can see, there are also other products which are at a different level of maturity and are all based on the, let's say, work of the network of networks, which is, let's say, the basis to put forward the Sector Skills Alliance. I'm not going into details of the developed results because this has been the subject of a former presentation in the first webinar of this series organized by Nereus on 5th of October, if I'm not wrong. But of course, we are available to, let's say, go deeper into details upon your questions. So going directly to the EU4Geo Alliance, the main aim of the Alliance is to leverage on the results of the EU4Geo projects, which according to the willingness of the funding bodies, so DG Education and Culture, DG Employment, and DG Grow at the time, now DG DEFIS, had the objective to develop a sector skill strategy which could be sustainable in the short, medium, and long term. So to do so, we developed within the project a report, the sector skill strategy, so-called in action, where 5 strategic objectives have been fixed, also in agreement with DG DEFIS, and each of these strategic objectives has is let's say divided into 3 operational objectives. Why I'm saying this? Because these objectives are the main guidelines for the work of the EU4Geo Alliance from now until the next 3 to 5 to 10 years. They have been already, let's say, described in a very concrete and practical way with tangible actions to be deployed and related targets and key performance indicator in the long-term action plan that you can still download again from the project website under resources. Briefly regarding the strategic objectives, you can see here that they are leveraging on the project results and going further and willing to embrace the entire spectrum of the space downstream sector. So not only Copernicus, not only Earth observation and geoinformation, but also positioning, space for security, according to new political development at the sea level and so on. These objectives are manifold. We can go from understanding evolving needs, which embrace all the parts related to the setup of a permanent observatory on skills needs in the downstream sector, and also trying to anticipate the skills needed according to the trends in economy, the societal trends, and the technological trends. Then we have to reinforce cooperation among all stakeholders, not only through the enforcement of the network and the enlargement of the network of networks, but also through continuing the work on the body of knowledge and this common vocabulary that we set up for the sector within EU4Geo. We have the need, the objective to develop, to promote harmonized curricula and user support. And so here the very ambitious goal is to arrive to have a one-stop shop portal where the user, the learner, but also the teacher can have access to the different resources available, but also have a support which can really guide the user to orient him, herself according to the available offer and design its own training path. Then, of course, we understand the need to penetrate other value chains. So there is a huge work foreseen to also raise awareness and make understand how, let's say, satellite, for instance, satellite data and services can be of support to different industrial ecosystem. And then, of course, we consider very important the engagement of citizens, which is foreseen to be done through roadshow, internship, job offers, events, and in general, all tools made available by citizen science to really raise awareness and engage the society at large. So these are the objectives of the EU4Geo Alliance that are going to be put in practice through, let's say, concrete actions. But shortly, what I want to communicate today is that the alliance is a really open alliance to aiming to join efforts from all different key stakeholders in the space downstream sector. I'm not going into details and reading all the reasons why to join the alliance that have been shortly reported in these slides. I know that Nereus will later on share these slides with you. I only, to conclude, would like to, let's say, point out two main key aspects that, in our opinion, are, I mean, the key points to bear in mind for the need for such an alliance. On one side, of course, the more practical is the possibility to join efforts and to have anyway a concerted and coordinated approach to skills development in the field, so that we cannot duplicate effort, we cannot duplicate initiatives that have been already developed by other colleagues through other programs, for instance, through other projects and initiatives, but we can really leverage on the results achieved by different stakeholders through different initiatives and go on starting from that level to develop further initiatives and projects. But mainly, in our opinion, and this is also the reason why we are many stakeholders already signed the agreement to join the alliance, is that we want to really set up a partnership which can have a say at the key decision levels, at the EC level, for instance, and even through, for instance, the Copernicus User Forum at the national level, to have its say and to really put forward towards the wide community the importance and the voice of the space downstream sector, which is now sometimes a little bit, let's say, in a second stage in comparison to the upstream sector, where upstream segment where key players, big players and big money is already available. So according to this, we are also going to promote a large-scale partnership for space transformation under the Pact for Skills, the famous initiative by DG Employment. This is the last new from, I mean, these days we are already in schedule a call with a key representative from DG Employment, DG DEFIS, and the support office for the Pact for Skills to really make this large-scale partnership a reality. So I don't steal more time to the discussion, and I really invite you to visit the EU4Geo website, which is going to be redesigned exactly in these days to really, let's say, show the purpose of the alliance and not only the EU4Geo project. And I'm available for your question, of course, and give back the floor to Margherita. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Milva, for this rich presentation. I have one question to you and to Mathilde. Since you share similar objectives, EU4Geo is more concrete in the downstream sector, space geoinformation, whereas Universae it's a view space on in a broader scope. Anyway, space is a cross-sectorial domain.
Yes.
And affects also other sectors, other domains. So the question to be asked now is, what are your plans in collaborating with other sectors within Erasmus Plus for better dissemination of your goals, objectives?
Okay, it's for me the question of for both, but anyway, I will start.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
Go ahead.
as I was mentioning, the alliance is an open alliance, and the objectives of the sector skills strategy are so wide, so ambitious that can't be covered by a single initiative, nor by a single consortium. In that sense, we are having a lot of conversation with other initiatives. Like, for instance, we had already a conversation with Université during the Space Week in Prague, and let's say the basis for collaboration are already there. From our point of view, for instance, the work of Université is part of one of the 5 strategic objectives of the Alliance. So all these different initiatives, and the same applies to the work that has been illustrated, the projects that have been illustrated earlier by Professor Ajimitis, sorry for the pronunciation, from the University of Cyprus, from Professor Brumana from Polimi. All these initiatives are really complementary each other, and really are can be considered, if we join the efforts, as part of the different streams of activities which are foreseen in the O4Geo Alliance. And the main, let's say, objective, the main goal is to have, let's say, a kind of partnership that can really coordinate the efforts. So to make, we are not, let's say, pushing for promoting another European university projects, knowing that there is Université. So the supports go to Université, leverage on their results, but also on the results of U4Geo, as has been already discussed with Mathilde and Manuel in Prague, for instance. And for sure, what is evident is that in all these initiatives, the need to penetrate the other sectors is evident. And in my opinion, the work performed by U4Geo as blueprint, so the connection established with DG Employment and with the other blueprint projects in the other sectors, are really, let's say, beneficial, and are really the starting point to let's say, promote concrete actions towards for raising awareness towards the other sector. And for sure, for instance, very, very good is the approach, in my opinion, promoted by Université in this sense. I mean, taking all the other, the 6 main, let's say, sector where space downstream data and services can be applied. So we are, I mean, all together in the good track, and what we don't have to miss is the opportunity to join effort and not to duplicate.
To duplicate efforts. I think that was
Yeah.
clear from your side, Milva.
Yeah.
Mathilde, something shortly from your...
Yeah, Milva said everything. I really totally agree. It's the same spirit from us here at Université. We are very happy to share our networks and expertise, identifying and developing skills. For example, Université wants to create an observatory for competencies, and that's something that Milva also mentioned. I mean, this is a need that we could all benefit to create courses and education programs. So very happy to share what's done.
Professor Diofantos, Professor Rafaela, how do you view this how do you value these initiatives? Are the goals of your program similar to what these 2 EU projects represent? Do you have any comments by now?
Diofantos, please.
Just to highlight the same thing, no duplication. Let's capitalize on the benefits of the 2 funding schemes of different projects, and capitalize for the benefit of the society, for the students, and for the researchers. Because if you finish one funded project, this is not the end. We are academics, we are researchers, and we want the results to be beneficial for the society, for the community. And I was in different, I presented the accession in other networks also. And the problem that we have, because everyone is very busy, I agree with the observatory. This is a good opportunity, everything to be open access, capitalize on our activities and expertise, put it in an open observatory for common use and no duplication. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you,
And,
Theophilus. Yes, Rafaela?
Yes, I fully agree with Fantas, not to duplicate. I would like to just to add this opportunity, maybe if could be useful. We are part of 3 large association and alliances with university. One is Idea League, one is a Greek one with I think 30 university connected within these leagues, and we could use also these alliances in order to spread the open access of initiative that we could commonly set up, because I remember that these alliances, perhaps the Greek member one in Athens, asked us in the past for another Erasmus initiative to build up a course that could be used by different courses, not, I mean, transversal courses that can use some credit, and then they can agree internally to recognize the credit of these courses. I don't know if it could be useful to stimulate.
Maybe you can share, Rafaela, because we also need to close. Maybe you can share the links, and then we can also share it in the follow-up later on. But
yes.
It looks like a very interesting opportunity. One short question for you, Professor Hadjimitsis. You mentioned before, and it's actually very important for us, that you are involved in the framework partnership of Copernicus Uptake for students. Could you please explain a bit more? What is this? Is it your?
You mean the FP Cup? This is
Yes.
This is
Okay.
a framework that had different activities every year, every 18 months, depending on the funding. It's coordinated by DLR and is not on every country based on the eligibility, one partner or more based on the country capital. For Cyprus, we agree, our university is civil defense, and we agree based on the nomination that we have from the government to take the partnership. And there are different activities. One activity is promote space education and observation to school, organize science cafe, researchers night, promote earth observation to child. But there are some other activities like environmental monitoring, mines, geological hazards. But I presented only this activity because this is a good initiative to promote also STEM education in school using
Yes, that's true. Thank you very much for the explanation. We know that we are over time, but we also started later due to some technical problems. However, before closing, I would still like to give the stage to Francesco Casaril. He's our Nereus trainee and recently graduate also. We would like to share with you some funding opportunities we found in Nereus, and it might be interesting for you. So please, Francesco, you can take the floor.
Yes, good morning. I promise that I will be short. Thank you, Margherita, for the introduction. I'm Francesco Casaril, and today I'm going to present a few opportunities that could be interesting for our audience. The first one is part of the Marie Curie Co-Found. The Co-Found action provides funding for regional, national, and international programs aimed at training and career development through a co-founding mechanism. This year, the Co-Found provide financing for 2 types of programs, PhD and postdoctoral programs. The application is open to all legal entities based in EU member states or Horizon Europe associated countries. The applicants could be governmental entities, regional authorities, universities, research organizations, enterprises, and others. Under this call, the beneficiary can receive a maximum of 10 million euro per project, and the total funding is 85 million euros. The co-found projects should last for up to 5 years and should recruit at least 3 researchers. The funding should help the host organizations to cover for each researcher's fixed amount equivalent to the minimum salary and long-term leave allowance. The deadline for this call is the 9th of February 2023. Another opportunity, this time for students enrolled in master programs, is offered by the European Space Agency. These are internships that are open to STEM and non-STEM students, and one of the eligibility criteria is to be enrolled in a master program. This year, the calls will be open until the 30th of November, and you can apply through the European Space Agency vacancy portal. Even if you don't meet the criteria this year, you can apply in the next years, as these calls are published every end of the year. Last but not least is another opportunity provided by the European Space Agency Business Applications Department. This call is addressed toward schools mostly, and is an umbrella call addressing different use cases. The name of the call is Digital Learning for STEM Education, and the call has just been published in November. The scope of the call concerns the use of satellites and digital technologies in the field of education, and how these technologies can help to engage students and communities, enable inclusiveness, increase efficiencies, and in general to support teaching and education. In order to be eligible, the call has to engage at least 2 schools, provide a solution that will support the digital transformation of the schools, and provide the benefit of at least 1 space asset in the proposed solution. The deadline for this specific call is the 15th of January of next year. These are just some of the calls that we identified for our members, and as Nereus, we constantly monitor and update our members on upcoming opportunities. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Francesco, for your presentation. From my side, to inform you that Nereus has created a list of upcoming calls, and they are accessible only to Nereus members. So if a Nereus member is interested to this list, they can send us an email, and then we can share it with them. Unfortunately, the time does not allow to continue our discussion, but still I would like to thank you very much for your participation, and to remind you to register to our next webinar on the 7th of December from 10 to 11. We will have also other member universities and other relevant educational stakeholders to join our panel. Thank you very much for staying us till the end, and we will send you a follow-up of this discussion of this webinar together with all the presentation. Thanks to all the speakers for their time, and to the audience as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Margarita and Nereus, for organizing this.
Our
Thank
pleasure.
you, bye. Thank you to all. Ciao, ciao.
Thank you, bye, bye-bye.
Nice to meet you again. Ciao, ciao, ciao.
Ciao.